அன்பிற்கும் அன்பாகி அன்பற்ற அகம் தன்னில் அலைக்காற்றின் அன்பூர அன்பூற்றி.
Hello and welcome. My name is Candace and I'm with Circle on the Square Holistic Life Center, and I have the wonderful pleasure and blessing to interview Atman Nambi. Thank you so much.
Namaste.
We have been blessed this weekend with workshops and initiations with Atmaji. May I? And so we thought that it would be really, really wonderful to share his work with the rest of the world. And so we're going to start with some questions and an interview and introducing Atma to you, and I guess I'll just begin. So Atmaji, one thing we were wondering is, what does Atman Nambi mean?
Oh, yeah. The meaning of Atma is self. Nambi means trust. Trust in Atma. That's why Atma Nambi.
And Atma is a name that was given to you.
Yeah, it's given by the divine.
And Atma is similar to Atman?
Atman. Self.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that means self.
Yes.
Is it also a level of self? Because like we have somebody that we know about here is Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
So can you speak to Atma and Mahatma?
It's, everyone is Atma, but for him, people love him very much. So when the love is overflowing, we will find new words to call someone, So when there is no word to find out to prize someone, and we have to choose a name, that's how this Mahatma, nothing more. How can you say nothing more? That's the highest, ultimate way of loving someone. That's why it is Mahatma. Maha in the sense, the biggest, the ultimate.
Is that an aspiration for you as well?
No, I don't have any such thing. I'm very happy of this name.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Mahatma was given to Gandhi
by people. Started calling.
All right. Well, it was kind of curious to me because of the root word in Sanskrit and what it means, and Atma and Nambi. So, Atma Nambi is trust in the self. Tell me what you mean by self.
Oh, yeah. Again, it's a name given to something which can't be explained, which can't be defined. We can say nearer to what is self. Self means beyond mind, beyond intellectuals, beyond thoughts, beyond emotion, beyond body. What is beyond all these things? We say self. That means that's the source of all. That is a source. From that source, the thoughts are arising, emotions are arising, all things are manifesting over there from the root, from the source, that which is called self.
So that this self is this self pure?
Pure. There is no way to corrupt it also. It's always pure.
So like in this country, sometimes we talk about higher self.
Yeah, it's one and the same, you know. When you say higher self, super self, all these things. Just for a word play. Self is a self. You know. It's pure, always it's pure. There is a saying in Vedanta, that which can't be cut down, that which can't be wet, that which can't be blown up, you know, that which can't be fired is self. Nothing can touch it. It's unaffected. That which is unaffected is called self. Whether we call it super self or higher self,
Or true self?
True self, doesn't it? Much. One and the same.
It's just...
Different people call different names.
Oh.
The truth is same.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
We have our idea of self, you know, I'm Candace and I live in Springfield, Missouri, and I have some children and I'm a counselor. I have these different roles and I've had this lifetime as Candace. Is that self different than the self, the Atma?
Yeah, this is personality.
Okay.
What you mention now is personality, outer cover of the self. You know, the name is given for the form. When you are inside your mother's womb, there was no name for you. Name came later, isn't it? You are existing, but still no name for you. Candace's name has been given after you were born, isn't it? So all these things, the names, the forms, the identification, the home address, identity, family, children, relationship, all these things related to personality, the cover of the self. Self is nothing to do with all these things.
Is that what people I know in Buddhism they refer to the ego, but then also in Western psychology we have the idea of ego and false ego. Is that ego? This other is the makeup of personality, a name and form?
Yes. See, when we call ego, the moment we start identifying with the personality, it's only a question of identification. If one starts identifying with the form, with the name, with the status, with the power, the ego is arising. Otherwise, there is no place of ego. If one is totally aware that it is my role as a mother, as a sister, as a wife, these are all just changing roles. If one is aware of this thoroughly, there is no question of ego. If one starts attaching with these identities, this kind of external things, personality, and the ego starts coming. Ego means deviating from the self.
Oh. Is that where suffering comes in?
That is exactly the suffering starts. The starting point of the suffering is the ego. The starting point of ego is the starting point of suffering. Wrong identification. Deviating from the self, from the true self, starts giving a false idea. Even the suffering is a false idea. There is no such thing. The ego, the mind, thinks that it is suffering. It's not so. The truth is just a deviation.
And in your life, you realized this?
Yeah.
Did you know from the beginning, or did you gradually in your learnings come to realize that?
Yeah. See, it was there like everyone, but it was fully actualized one point of time. Fully actualized, fully flowered on one point of time when I was 39-year-old. That is 22 years now. It was completely actualized, 100%. That's what I can say.
In your process, getting to the 100%
Yeah.
full flowering, how did you know it was 100% full flower?
Yes, now I can say it is 22 years are gone now. Surely it is 100%. Yeah.
Just because of the experience. When that happens, you know.
Yeah, when it happens, When you are joy, you know that you are joy. There is no proof. There is no need of any proof. You know it. Same thing. I know it.
And no doubt.
Yes, no doubt.
Does the ego
Yes.
doubt?
Yeah, it is separated. The mind is separated. The ego is separated. The personality is separated.
Thank you. So, is this available to all of us?
Yes, it's available to everyone on the earth. It's only question of recognizing. It takes no second. And live it. Recognizing and live it is the keys.
And how does one, that's probably a big question, how does one go forth in recognizing it and living it?
Just to see one's own life. For example, when we are sleeping, every day everyone is sleeping. At the time of sleeping, we don't have the remembrance of the body or the mind or whatever we discussed now, the personality is no more. But there is always something which is not lost, existing all the time, even while during sleeping also. But when you are waking up the next morning, naturally all the memories are coming back. The mind is creating the memories. So, just looking into this phenomenon, a sleeping phenomenon, what's happening during the sleep is enough for recognition. One can recognize it. Who am I?
How do we do that, looking at a sleeping phenomenon?
Yeah, that's enough. That one incident is enough. That will give you a glimpse that who you are. That means you are not the thought, you are not the mind, you are not emotions. Beyond all these things, there is something deeper. That must be you. Because that is permanent. All other things are temporary. For example, thoughts. Thoughts are very temporary. They come and go. They visit you. But who is that you? Which is, the you is permanent. Isn't it? That which is permanent must be you. That which are visiting can't be you.
So there is something permanent under
Yes.
all
In
of
the
the
changing thing.
impermanent.
Yes. There are changes, always changes, but inside the changes there is something always permanent. Now we have to recognize, am I the changing one or the permanent one?
How do you help people to access that, the permanent?
Yeah, simple. The meditation is a way. Meditation is the best tool. If one starts meditating, one knows, one gets totally identified with this self. Because when someone is meditating, the evaporation of thoughts and minds and everything happens. But there comes a point that there is something permanent which can't be taken away. That's a reality.
So I think people have a challenge with meditation or not sure how to meditate, or they try and they say, I can't do it. Then they stop and then
Yeah. There is always, the right way of doing things and wrong way of doing things. One has to select the right way of doing meditation. I call it as a right meditation. If someone is introduced the right way of meditating, there is no way of saying like this that meditation is not coming to me, it's not for me, all these things will not happen. That's why I always say, before meditation, just undergo introspection. Introspection is the first step before meditation. Introspection means just be alone in the room, in your home or wherever you would like to sit. Sit alone. Just look into your mind, watch your mind, find out what's happening, what kind of flow of thoughts are going on day in and day out. Find out. Probably you can note down also. If you note down 4 or 5 sitting, you will know the same old repetition of thoughts are going on inside. We are always engaged with that. Why one has to be engaged with that? Why don't we liberate it from that? So that introspection, that is studying our own mind, studying our own emotion, studying the temporariness around us, is the first step, will be the first step, should be the first step. Once you understand this step, then you go for little preparation. Preparation is physically, you can prepare your body, maybe doing some physical yoga, maybe some little exercises here and there, having a nice food and having a wonderful lifestyle, living style. And that's a preparation for the physical body. The physical body preparation is very much important, because in meditation one has to sit for 15 minutes, half an hour, something like that. The body has to cooperate. The cooperation is a must from the physical body. So we have to prepare it, preparation. And maybe you can undergo some kind of breathing exercises, namely pranayama or something like that. That will settle down your mind. Then you close your eyes, then you meditate, then meditation will come just like that. It will not be a struggle, it will not be a war. You will love it. And once you have the glimpse of bliss or happiness which is bound to happen during meditation, that single experience, one experience of bliss, the glimpse, is enough. Once one tastes that, afterwards one loves to meditate. No one can stop it. It's such an interesting factor. Then meditation will be a life. It will be a permanent phenomenon. Afterwards one need not do any particular techniques or anything. One started living as meditation throughout life. I think this is the process of progressing in meditation. If a person is totally fed up with all the mind and this flow and all this kind of mind disturbance, thought disturbance, suddenly if you ask that person to meditate, it will be very difficult. So best way to introspect first and then prepare and then meditate. Once you meditate, then meditation sets in, because our nature is meditation. Meditation is not a new phenomenon for anybody. We started our life in a silent way in the mother's womb. 280 days we are meditating before we come to the earth, isn't it? That experience is still there. It's not a new phenomenon. Meditation will set in for everyone. One has to follow the right procedure, right way of starting things. Of course, for some people, suddenly meditation is set in. I'm not saying to all they have to introspect, prepare and all. Some people suddenly when they close eyes, they go into trance. But not by all. Because everybody is different in their mindset, programming. It depends on the program of the mind. More it is strongly programmed, they need a lot of preparation to set in meditation. Till they get the first glimpse of joy, of happiness, of silence, then they come to go away from meditation. They love meditation. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people fear the silence. They fear like that silence is like maybe nothing, like death, as opposed to bliss. Do you think?
Yes, some people, yes. Some people, they have this experience of fear. When they go deep into meditation, suddenly the noise of the mind is reduced and there comes a point, a noiseless, a peace is occupying. That moment is a fearful moment for some of them because it's something unknown, forgotten for long. So suddenly, when a person is thrown into such a silent zone, it's such a shock like, that may create a fear. But one need not worry about this kind of small fear like traces or shades. One can boldly travel into, because that silence is bliss. Silence is not a dry experience in meditation, in no mind situation. It's such a juicy experience. As many people think that wrongly, silence is not nothingness, it is everythingness. From silence, from the vacuum, everything arises out of it. So if we have this understanding rightly, we will love to travel into the silent zone. All treasures are there in the silent zone.
That's interesting. It reminds me of your name.
Yeah. Yes, trust in Atman. Atman Nambi. Yes.
So it's a trust. So in those moments, it's that we have to trust that it's going to be okay
trust
on the other side.
Yes.
Or to cross that.
Yes.
Cross the unknown.
Yes. See, when we are traveling in the aeroplane, we don't even see the face of the pilot, but we are enjoying the travel of the aeroplane. What is the background of it? We are just trusting the pilot that he will take us the right way without making any trouble on the way. So we are trusting the pilot. When you are traveling in a bus, we trust the driver of the bus. We don't even see the face of the driver of the bus. We trust many things. But when it comes to meditation, why we are afraid of? Why don't we trust that which is governing the whole process?
Right. I definitely can trust that easier than
Yeah.
the plane and
Yes.
and
Absolutely. Yes. It's
But
very
that's a
trust.
good point. That's
Yes.
a really good point.
Yes.
It seems like so many self-realized beings come from India, and that we don't have anywhere else. What do you think about that? I mean, is that true?
I think it may be the truth some years before. But now every country has got a number of self-realized. This is what my experience also. Everywhere people are emerging and realizing a lot. Because this is a time of mass awakening. Many people are awakening. Because so much awareness is going on. Of course, I agree with you. India is a very ancient country. All the time, the land of India was giving the wisdom of realization, of liberation, of enlightenment, mukti, moksha, even before Gautama Buddha was born and flowered. I agree with you. That is the reason a lot of people in India, the numbers are very high, but doesn't mean that the other countries, they don't have this fortune of realizing. It's happened everywhere. Yes.
Is that why you're coming around?
Yeah, no other way, When you are joyful, you always share that joy. You can't keep quiet. Of course, yes.
And this is your first time in the U.S.?
Yeah, this is my first time.
So in your journeys, have you come across some other realized beings?
Yes, I do.
That's wonderful to hear.
Yes.
Is it hard? Is it tough for them in other parts of the country?
No.
So India is very supportive and has the awareness of this self-realization, and it's almost built into the culture.
Yes.
But not so much in other places.
Yes, that is true.
And so what happens when are people waking up without necessarily under the guidance of a teacher?
Yeah.
And what happens to them? What do they do?
Yeah.
Is it, I'm curious about how does the world support it, when it's not, it's a new ground.
Yeah. I tell you, the fundamental culture of India, there were days when someone is realized, the whole area or the whole country starts celebrating that. That's such a great celebration.
So they feel it.
Yeah, they feel
the
it.
Other people in
Yes,
that
yes.
area.
The radiation of the vibration is felt by everyone. So they start celebrating that as a great event.
And so they might not even know who it is.
Yeah.
But they feel somebody.
They feel it. They feel it.
Wow, that's interesting.
Because the realization of one person is not really realization of one person. It's realization of all. It's like when a flower is flowering, the fragrance is not only for the flower. It's for the entire area. Same thing, the flowering. And also it's quite interesting to know this. Even the kings in the olden days in India, they always consult to take decision for the country, for the ruling area, from the realized one. They always have advisors of these people only. If some critical situation comes for the country to take a decision, they always consult with the realized one. What to do in this situation? Can you advise me? The king used to ask the realized one. Because only the realized one can give the right solution. What is realization after all? Realization means a complete clarity about the situation without any bias. So the king used to have the advices from them. That's the culture of India. Even now you can see the ministers, the ruling ministers, maybe chief ministers or prime minister, they always consult the realized one. They go to the ashram, meet the master there, they discuss about the critical situations prevailing in the country, how to take a decision on this. They consult. They do advise them for the welfare of the people. Such a way it's understood. The realization is understood in India. Of course, I agree with you. But I don't think that's the case in other countries, especially the Western countries. I think this awareness is very important. For example, yesterday I all introduced the person, Lori. She has such a beautiful silence. This is a moment for us to celebrate that, taking care of her and all these things like that. I think this awareness has to come to Western world. If one is flowering, one has to be taken care, because the realized one becomes so delicate, so sensible. They are not the same like other beings. Their internal thing is entirely different. They become like a child again. So some people have to take care of them, to protect them and make use of that beautiful energy for the people around. Not only people around, even for the whole nation. Such a way it has to be handled and maintained. This is very new here.
Like a support so that they,
Yeah,
because can they get hurt if they're not supported?
yeah. No, they are not hurting or anything. It's a delicate situation. For example, the child situation. I told you, like a child, what will happen? It will starve unnecessarily. A child always needs some helping hand, because the mind is no more, the ego is no more. Look at the egoless situation. Someone has to take care, like taking care of the plant or the flower, isn't it? I think that is needed here, this awareness.
Of supporting that and
Yes. And celebrating.
joining in and
Yes, joining in.
celebrating.
Taking the help of that energy. Now all these things we have to focus on.
It kind of speaks to the interconnectedness.
Yes,
So as opposed to
Yeah.
separateness.
yes. They are in different world. Their world is different. Because they don't have the time sense, they don't have the place sense. Even sometimes they forget to eat also. It's like a child situation. It's like a mother is taking care of the child. You can see in India, such kind of, the masters are taken care by some people always.
Did you have several years after your awakening that you didn't go out?
Yeah, yeah, it happened. It happened. The realization happened in 1994. Almost 2 years plus, I couldn't able to move anywhere. Even a small sound of the pin falling on the ground looks like a big sound for me, very heavy. Even my own words was disturbance for me, too much sounding. So I kept quiet all the time inside my room. I never used to move with the people, keeping away myself. All these things happened in my case also. It was so delicate situation. There were days I have forgotten to eat also. somebody has to remind, please eat, okay, let us go, all these things like that. It took many, many months for me. Even after that, I have not moved freely. I couldn't be able to move because the transport sound and all these things are very heavy for me. I couldn't manage.
All the beeping cars and
So
the,
my,
all the
India,
chaos.
India, at least here in America, nobody is making such a horn sound. In India, you see always horn sound, like this. It's too much. So always I was aloof with the very limited people. The very beginning only very few people around me. They were around me almost 10 years or so. Just I was moving with only 10-15 people. That's all. They take me carefully here and there. That's all. I was talking to them only, the very beginning. Very recently only I started traveling. Especially some 4 years before, I had a satsang in Tiruvannamalai. You know Tiruvannamalai, the land of Ramana Maharishi. I was holding a satsang. There, mostly Westerners were there in my satsang. That's my first satsang for Westerners. In that satsang, one lady, her name is Diana, she was there. After my satsang, she wanted to meet me personally. She came and met me. She had some questions, personal session. I was talking to her. Somehow she is totally connected to me in this satsang time. And she told me that if I am inviting you to Europe, will you able to come? I told her I have never seen airport in my lifetime until the age of my 59. I said I have never gone out of India. I do not know how to come to Europe and all. She said I will take care of everything. You please do come to Greece. I said okay, I will try. So she arranged my ticket and all the comforts and everything. The visa, all these papers and all. She prepared. She invited me. So Greece was the first country, it's the first country I visited over there. Crete Island, there is an island in the Mediterranean Sea. So that's the first landing place for me. I landed over there. 48 days I stayed there in the island. In different places she organized some meetings and satsangs and all these things. This is how it started actually. For the past 4 years or so only I am traveling. Nowadays I am traveling a lot. Even though I am traveling, you must have seen here also. I am not moving anywhere. I am in my room. I love to be in my room. Even this sound is a very house area. It's a heavy sound for me.
Thinking that right there.
This kind of inner thing is going on that I think people must understand. They are not the same anymore. Their sense organs are entirely different. So sharp, it is very sharp. They need to be handled like a flower in a delicate way. I think these are that's why yesterday I was talking about her. I know how to be taken care about her. She is so tender. I saw her, she came for the personal sitting, We couldn't able to talk much. She started crying. I said, okay, you need not speak anything now. Okay, I understand you. Please take care of yourself. Like that. It's such a delicate situation.
Well, we definitely felt very honored to be able to be a place that can be safe for her.
Yeah,
Honored to.
I am really thankful. Please do, please do. It's a help for others also. That silent energy will be of great help for many people.
So, do people's mental noise
Yeah,
kind of get to you at first too?
yeah.
Somebody's around you and
Yeah.
they're just thinking and
Yeah.
worrying and they have all that
That
stuff.
will also affect.
Yeah.
very much. It will be too much. You know. That's why you can in India you can watch all these things. When people are approaching a master, they don't speak. They are so quietly sitting nearby, not even questioning. The approach is totally different. You can watch it.
Yeah.
It's not that it is a discipline or something. It's a respect or something. Nothing to do with discipline or respect or anything. They are in such a difficult way. There is a master in India. He has never even come out of his ashram. He is very famous all over the world. He never even come out. He always sends his representation. He is always in his room, giving darshans, sending his energy to the world. It's almost like sitting inside the cave. That's why many masters, they don't even visit, they don't even travel. They sit in one place, maybe inside the cave, and the things happening. The energy work. It's an energy work. There's no need to talk even. Sitting silently near the realized one is enough. There's not even talking to them. Things happen. That's why some masters, they don't even travel. They sit inside and things happen.
Thank you very much. Well, we have our class to go to, our blessings, but
Yes.
but is there anything else you would like to say? That any message, anything to the world?
Yeah, of course, I would like to share that instead of saying that I have this problem, bad problem, health problem, or financial problem, social problem, relationship problem, all these things. And also, instead of saying the world is facing so many problems, all these things, instead of focusing on all these kind of negative things, I think better we can focus on ourselves. That will give the solution for all these kind of problems. Problem may be many, but the solution is always one. Just stay in ourselves. This is my message. Staying in self will give clarity to sort out many problems quickly and easily. So one can live a happy life. Once a person lives happily, the whole family is happy. When the whole families are happy, naturally the nation is happy. When the nations are happy, naturally the world is happy. So simple thing is that be in the self, realizing oneself that we are love. Only love exists, nothing else existing. This is my message.
Only love.
Yes, only love.
Thank you.
Thank you very
So
much.
much. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste. Om Shanti.
அன்பிற்கும் அன்பாகி அன்பற்ற அகம் தன்னில் அலைக்காற்றின் அன்பூர அன்பூற்றின் அதிர்வெய்தவே அகமேமை அகலாக அறிவாற்றல் அகலாத அறிவார்ந்த அருள் பாய அருளாத்ம உள்ஜோதியே ஆத்மநம்பிக்கை தரும் ஜோதியே ஆத்மாஜி அருள் திரள் ஜோதியே ஆத்மநம்பிக்கை தரும் ஜோதியே ஆத்மாஜி அருள் திரள் ஜோதியே
ஓம் ஆதியே நமஹ ஓம் மாதாவே நமஹ ஓம் பிதாவே நமஹ ஓம் குருவே நமஹ ஓம் ॐ तारक परब्रह्मणे नमः ॐ मनमे नमः
ஆதாரம் அதில் நின்று